From the frozen wastes of Norway to the Balkans and Eastern Europe, all across the entirety of the steppes and into Manchuria, we are, by all intent and purposes, the Russian historical empire. We have the Russian Empire Tier 1 government reform. This is the second part in the Russian mega campaign. You'll find the first part linked in the description, and once we get 5,000 likes, I'll release the third and final part where we get all the way to 1821, getting literally millions of ducats and manpower in the process. So now, to give a bit of an overview of our situation in 1502 as the Muscovites, we are doing okay with our governing capacity, a little bit over, but we're in the process of building courthouses around the country, so we're going to be fine in a moment. Mission wise, we're going to be doing destroy the hordes as soon as we get rid of what's left of Nogai, the last nation we got to take out. Then we can focus on our colonization of Siberia and finishing conquering the lands to the west as well here. Actually, I think truce is over. It is over, so let's go ahead and attack the Lithuanians right now. We have turned all of the Eastern European states into full state. Remember, if you go to the subcontinents map mode, all areas within Eastern Europe will be our primary full states. Everything else to the east of that, including Tartar and so on, will be trade companies based on the various trade nodes, essentially. Economically, we're doing pretty good. We have a balance of close to 50, and manpower wise, we have 120 max manpower with 1.5 thousand we're gaining every month. So we really are Russia in essence. No issues with manpower whatsoever right now. Also, technologically speaking, we're okay too. I believe we are on par with most people in Europe. It seems like the Bohemians are a little bit more advanced than us, but that's pretty much it. Another really important thing that a lot of people don't necessarily do in their campaigns is upgrade the monuments. The Russians actually have some very underrated monuments, such as the St. Basil Cathedral. It does give tolerance to the true faith, loyalty for the estates, and advisor cost reduction as long as it's the Orthodox religion for advisors. This is stackable, so you can really have insanely cheap advisors as the Muscovites for the entire campaign. Then the Kremlin is also pretty decent because it gives regiment cost minus 10%. That basically makes all your units cheaper by 10%, which is huge. And then in Kazan, we have the Kazan Kremlin, which gives autonomy, monthly change reduction globally, and inflicted garrison army damage, as well as upgrade time for your great projects by 25% reduction. So you can have your projects done significantly faster when this is fully upgraded. And of course, the Winter Palace is really good too. We just need to convert the culture here from Karelian to a Muscovite, and that will give increase in absolutism and reform progress growth. This is a little bit of a later campaign monument, which is why I haven't bothered with it right now. Hey, we have the founding of Arkhangelsk. We get 6 development, and until the end of the game, we get some really nice modifiers, turning this into a proper trade power province. I also want to check what's going on in the rest of the world. Right now, we seem to have a pretty weak France, actually, despite them being our rival. They haven't completely consolidated their hold on the French region, which is pretty sad to see. They are allied with Brittany, which is preventing them from annexing Brittany, and the English still have a hold over their French possessions. They also consolidated most of Ireland, and the Scots are allied to the French, which makes this be a little bit of a stalemate. I'm really surprised this hasn't played out yet, the war between the French and the English, to be honest. Portugal is allied to both France and England. Okay, they're playing every card in the book, apparently. Castilians do have the Iberian wedding, so that's the real superpower in the West, I guess. Austria is still the emperor. They do have their union also over Hungary, which is an incorporated union, a special type of administrative unit. I love the fact that we can get claims on an entire area as the Muscovites. It is just ridiculously juicy. Saves up so much diplomatic power that we would waste otherwise on getting lands we don't have claims on. Now, we may be outnumbered here, but we're still gonna win because we have significantly better units than the Lithuanians have. Just funny to say, because we're still, after all, playing as Russia, right? Go in quantity and still having better units, flat out just says that Lithuania's soldiers are crap. You guys still remember the period of time when the province of Žemaitija actually had a connection to the sea? I still remember. Those were the good times for the Lithuanians, if you ask me. And I think it was called Samogitia back then, wasn't it? Oh, let's go, baby. We got an extra merchant. It's happening. We're getting rich. We are going to use this extra merchant to transfer trade up north from Astrakhan rather than having it go into the east, which means it will go to the Kievan node. Oh god, I almost forgot about this. We have to attack Nogai now. And the great battle of our ages here. We will be crushing what's left of Pomerania and Lithuania in the most fitting of provinces here in Giurgiu. Okay, they are retreating. Let's split up our army so we can actually stack wipe all 3 of the remaining soldiers. There you go. 1, 2, and a 3 Shtak and Vapennikurums. We also seem to have a plot by the Prince of Nizhny Novgorod. Okay, well, we're going to send units to make sure by the time the plot starts, they're going to be ready to wipe out those rebels. I do think taking the only fortification that Mogolistan, which is in their capital, should be enough to piece them out. But apparently I'm wrong, so we do need to carpet siege them a little bit too now. Look at what they did to my beautiful Brandenburg here. Okay, we're also okay with our governing capacity, so we can do the peace deal. We can take most of the southern provinces. I'm taking this just so I prevent the Ottomans from actually being able to take Lithuanian lands, which I kind of suspect they will be doing if I don't take the southern provinces. Kind of historical how Lithuania is just becoming smaller and smaller, isn't it? And I believe we can also do some more missions now. The conquest of Ruthenia means we have the option of making Kiev a religious site commercial, a fortress, or we can give it a university so we can really play insanely tall in that one province if we want to. This is actually insane. A basilica, a stock exchange. Okay, this really is insane. I'm gonna go for the university though, just because I want to have a university like 100 years before you can actually get universities. And I know what you're thinking. You should have waited to do that after you courted up. I know, it's fine. Don't worry about it, man. Come on. It's just like 40 more admin. It's not a big deal. I'm totally not crying deep down inside. Now, I know I said earlier that I just want a white peace, but I lied. I want to have the freaking money from Mogolistan too now, okay? Give me war reparations as well. Can you give me anything else? I don't need anything else. That's all I want from you, okay? Give me all your money so I can use it to fight your friends after. Oh, the Ottomans are fighting Karakoyunlu. Oh, Schnitzeldorf. That is not good. I don't want the Ottomans to take over Karakoyunlu's lands, because I want to take over Karakoyunlu's lands. Wait, what? The rise of Manchuria? Oh my lord. The big boys are back in town, and apparently they're not a tributary of Ming anymore, so it's actually a little bit easier for me to now wipe out the North Africa, North Chinese, I said North Chinese, I didn't say North Africa. I know geography, I swear. Why does this always happen to me? My general died literally as he arrived to siege this town. Holy mother of God. Ivan the Terrible becomes our new leader, a 656 leader. Holy schnitzel, bro. That is actually insane. Feel like we got to get rid of this heir since he's, 43 years old. Oh no, oh, Andre, I'm so sorry. You should not have looked out the window when you had me behind you. What? And apparently he gets chance of new heir. I mean, that's not too bad. I kind of was hoping we get something nicer though, like, I don't know, freaking discipline or something of the sorts would have been better. Well, it does seem like my boy was fast at work here. Already we have an heir. He is not amazing though. 343 is a little bit underwhelming when you start with the 656 though. So let's see what happens. Yuri might be into window shopping, if you know what I mean. Now for Ajama, I'm gonna go for a bit of a longer war because I want to get them to transfer trade power. Remember that Persia is a bottleneck in essence, so if we manage to transfer trade power from Persia into Astrakhan, which then afterwards pretty much entirely filters into Kazan and then into Novgorod, that's just pure profit for us. Okay, we've got a decent sized army here too. Let's start the war against Manchuria. We do need to make sure we keep our units together. They do have 24,000 units, and these are really good horde units, so we gotta try if possible to fight them in the more mountainous terrains around the northern parts of the Korean peninsula, I guess, or just avoid them. It's also not looking good for Karakoyunlu. I'm fairly certain they're gonna lose this war, which is pretty sad. Also guys, I do want to say thank you for all the kind words on the previous part of this campaign. I know I mentioned at the later part of that video that I am going through a little bit of a depression, and it's been going on for a while, years. It's not easy, but you know, I tried to not show that on my streams as much, or on my videos at least. On the streams, I'm pretty sure some of you guys know about it by now. Whatever the case, I appreciate the kind words. It really means a lot to me. And I just want to say thank you for all the support throughout the years. I love doing this, you know, like I actually do love making content, and I appreciate you guys watching the videos. It means the world to me, honestly, to see that people actually enjoy watching videos that I make. Now let's get ourselves out of this jam that we're in, get it, so we can continue with more expansion into the east. There you go. This is fine. Cancel some of their alliances too, so they're easy pickings. Alrighty, boys. I do love that me managing my aggressive expansion properly means I basically have no coalition, which is just crazy to see considering how much we've expanded. Okay, now we can actually do a destruction of the Horde for the motherland. 100 power projection. It should last us for a while now. Oh, how the hell did Gazikumans become a subject of Karakoyunlu? I was expecting the Ottomans to vassalize them diplomatically, right? Military reform. Do we reform the army? Do we reform the navy, or both? I would love to have insanely good army, so we're obviously going to go for the army. That also means we can now get professional officers, military tech 9. We got pike infantry as consequence, so our units are significantly better than they were before. We're going to wait a little bit though until the one day before the end of the month so we can change our units. That way they get a little bit of extra morale tick up. And the thing I hate the most about fighting hordes is that they're just so fast, it's impossible for my units to catch up to their armies. I tried chasing them down, I cannot, so I gave up. I'm just gonna be carpet sieging the entirety of their country. They eventually have to come back and try to unsiege it, right? Also, I just saw the Emperor enacting the fourth reform. Are we gonna see an actual Holy Roman Empire done by the AI? Because that would be really interesting. I haven't seen that in a really long time. I see Ming's taking advantage of the fact that I wiped out the armies of Mogulistan so they can just make a free tributary. The cool part about the Muscovites / Russians is that we actually have two options when it comes to the tier 5 government reform. We can establish the Trelsi, which means that they demand 25% less ducats on every new ruler. Reinforcement cost is 10% cheaper and speed is 10% faster. Plus, infantry cost overall for all of our units are 5% minus, and we get 20% more Streltsy that we can have overall. Or the other option is the Boyar military service. The privileges that you get from these affect either the cavalry or the infantry. You can get 15% infantry compatibility if you make your leader a general, or if not, 20% cheaper infantry cost, which is huge. And the cavalry one is also pretty good. It gives cavalry compatibility and so on. However, I like establishing the Streltsy because I like to genuinely have an insanely overpowered army of Streltsy infantry, and then we can also have up to 48 Streltsy infantry now, which is honestly a big deal here. Plus, check out, the interaction is way more worth it now than it ever was before. I'm fairly certain the Ming will attack Manchu after I finish the war because they're going to see them as weak, and I want them to have as much land as possible they can take. And I'm going to use the return core interaction to get back Mategra from the Genoese. I was kind of hoping that the Genoese are going to lose their possessions in Italy, and that way I could just diplo-vassalize them, but apparently that hasn't happened. So I might just cancel the alliance so I can take the lands they have in the Crimean areas. I'm also going to be getting the alliance I wanted to get with the Austrians from before, and canceling the alliance I have with the Poles. Actually, we do have a lot of favors with them, so before we cancel that, we can use the favors to get back some soldiers, some ducats, and everything else. There you go. 79 ducats out of thin air. We're getting so rich, guys. 79 ducats, we can build a whole half a church. It would appear like we also have the Protestant Reformation spawned, and I also want to start my golden era. It is a great moment for us. Should have actually started my golden era like 10-20 years ago. I kind of forgot about it, so it's fine. And in roughly 10 years, we're also going to get the Age of Reformation, so we need to make sure before that we have enough religious unity. We need to double down on converting everybody to our religion, and we need to increase our patriarchal authority to make it easier, because that also gives us missionary strength alongside manpower and everything else. Plus, I kind of want to just make a lot of countries Orthodox, so I'm thinking to start some wars with like one province minors or just smaller nations in the HRE, just so I can get more Orthodox nations to grow the level of my Defender of the Faith, which means I will also get more manpower once the level is higher. Now, since we are at war with Ming, it also means that we can attack Uzbek, which is a tributary of Ming, without any repercussions, because Ming cannot join in this war since they already are at war with with us. And here's a little trick you guys might not know. If you hold control and you select units, it selects the ships rather than the armies, which would normally happen if you were to hover over both ships and armies. It would select by default the army, hold control, and it selects the navy. Which, speaking of, we need to get a lot more ships. We don't even have up to our max naval force limit, but I actually want to go up to 50 naval force limit, so we have a decent amount of ships to setting up more trade power in Novgorod for ourselves. Right now we've got 82% of the Novgorod node, and we actually can get more by increasing our center of trade levels, because we haven't done that at all, actually, now that I think about it. All right, time to give back all of these cores to our beloved Skibidi. We would not have been able to annex this province here if it wasn't already a core of Kazakh, so we got that going for us. We can actually get more cores of Kazakh back from Mogulistan and the Timurids next. So we did a little bit of a tactical strike on Ming. Basically, we took over the cities of Beijing, Nanjing, and Canton, as well as we've devastated their country, which is basically lowering the mandate massively. So if we stay at war with them for about a year or two longer and we keep on pressing on with this devastation, it will completely collapse Ming. So that means they're going to break away into tiny little pieces. That's why I'm going to take as much money as I can now, and I'm going to take the northern borders. This is what I want from Ming. That way I can also attack Oirats, Mogulistan, consolidate those areas, and then of course Manchu afterwards when the truce is over and stuff. Not going to go into the south because I'm pretty sure after this war Ming is going to be fragmented massively, so we're going to be having an easier time going into the south when they're all smaller little schnitzelsdorfs. Well, we had to pretty much siege the entirety of Ming to enforce the demands that we want to enforce. So now that that's done, we can continue this war against the tributaries of Ming, thus resetting the truce we have with Ming in the process as well. But I am going to wait until we at least core these provinces we took from Ming first before we attack their tributaries. Because remember, if you're at war with a country that has cores on provinces you are coring, then it's going to stop the progress of you coring those provinces. I'm going to use the money I got from Ming to just build as many churches, as many workshops, and just upgrade overall my main Eastern European holdings before anything else. Courthouses are also pretty good, and of course manufactories, but we cannot build any of the manufactories we want, such as cloth, iron, and so on. The grain, livestock, fish, and wine provinces, we're actually going to build soldiers' households in them once we get Admin Tech 15, so we're not going to build manufactories just yet there. Oh, and I almost forgot, let's actually get some of those centers of trade upgraded to level 2. Let's also go ahead and form Russia now, since we have the Admin Tech 10. Get the new traditions and ambitions for the Russian nation, which means we have now core creation cost minus 15%, national manpower plus 33%, aggressive expansion impact reduction, the ability to establish Siberian frontiers. So for just 20 diplo power, we can basically colonize the entirety of Siberia for little to nothing. Look at this, we're clicking a button and we're getting almost all of Siberia already. It is just the most overpowered mechanic ever that the Russians have. Plus, our mission tree has expanded now that we formed the Russian Tsardom, and it will expand even more once we get the Imperial ambition. We unlock the Imperial missions for Russia. So by forming the Tsardom, increased centralization will be removed from Russia, and we get some pretty decent bonuses actually. Plus, we can do handle the boyars now as well, which will give us some loyalty equilibrium and manpower recovery speed, and also we can abolish the Meshchnishkovo, which we have done since the start of the campaign actually. Now you saw here that we got modernization. What is that? Well, that is a new unique mechanic for the Russians. At maximum power, it will lower the embracement cost for institutions by 50%. Now, in order to modernize, we kind of just need to get rid of a lot of the privileges we have, so we're not going to do that just yet. We can also do roll of the Streltsy. We just need to recruit some more Streltsy. And we can make St. Petersburg our capital. This will turn the province to Muscovite culture. It will cost us a little bit of ducats, so we're going to have to take a loan as consequence. But it's worth it because we didn't need to convert this to our culture, and we got a lot of extra development from it too, alongside making it our capital. We also have significantly more governing capacity now, an increase of 500, so we can continue to make more areas in Eastern Europe, our subcontinent here, as full cores. That basically means all of the Ukrainian lands, which we did not have enough governing capacity beforehand to turn into full cores. We do have the event Fate the Peasantry now that we form Russia, as we can either enforce early serfdom on them, and then we get manpower and a few other bonuses, but this leads down to some horrible decisions that we need to make later down the line. Or we do not enserf them, which is kind of slavery, let's face it. We emancipate the peasants, and it increases peasant freedom. It does mean we lower our national manpower by 20%. Now, honestly, I feel like this is the better option, since despite the boyars rising up against us, it does mean that we get some significant bonuses to modernization. Look at that. We're gaining 0.29 each month now for modernization compared to what we were losing before. And the boyars rising up is not the end of the world. Let them come at. There you go. The boyars revolt is here. Now they're going to be giving us one stability apparently. So one of those revolts that I'm kind of on board with, really. Literally one of the most Russian events you can possibly get. It all belongs to Mother Russia. Core creation cost reduction, province sports core cost reduction. That is juicy. Let's go ahead and continue the wars. We're going to attack Oirats now. And apparently Ming is not joining because they have a lot of debt. We're going to be co-belligerting Cradle and Yarkand. And we're going to do a very, very quick war here. Clean up the borders, as I like to say. Oh, they've actually taken quite a bit of land from Mogolistan. I think that's because of the rebels, because I didn't see them have a war act. Another really important decision. Should we enforce the boyars' authority with the Tisiaski office government to reform, or should we go for the Nametsky office? I'm obviously going to go for the Nametsky office. That means we can go back here, and for the tier 3 government, we now have Nametsky office. It means that minimum autonomy territories is -5, which is huge actually, and trade company investment, which is amazing too, because once we've fully converted everything to our religion, we're going to make trade companies here. So it's going to be cheaper for us to upgrade our trade companies after too. And that being said, we need to improve Pskov 3 times to do one of our missions. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So now we can do the Tisiaski's fate. Clicius Maximus lowered the estate's crownland distribution by 5%. So we end up with 26% crownlands. Now, if we get 14 a month admin, we can do another mission. So we can probably easily do that by just upgrading this guy to level 4. Just realized Uzbek also appeared again. So we're going to use our cores from Kazakh to wipe out Uzbek again. And I'm going to use some of my military points to develop provinces a little bit to also make this a metropolitan. And skibbity-doo, skibbity-day, Lycius Maximus, 27. That's actually still super cheap. Also do this attack on Lithuania. Apparently, the Catholic defended the faith as France, so we're going to have to fight them too. Brought in Austria just so I can use them against the French. Okay, the amount of events we're getting now once we form Russia is just ridiculous, man. Look at this. And we are also beginning the war against Mogolistan. We pretty much have won the other war, so kind of not doing anything with my units. Might as well just literally finish the entirety of the steppes in one fell swoop. Then we get pretty borders, which is what this is really about, getting those pretty borders. It is time for the great cleanup. We start with Cradle, we finish with USA. What? Who said that? Nobody said nothing. Ignore that. Ignore that. Yarkand has cores. We're going to cancel those too. And let's also make sure we do not go over our overextension. We're actually super okay, apparently. I also like the fact that the Timurids are basically going to be my neighbor after this, because they're wiping out the Gujians, the last independent Tibetan holdings. And I'm honestly just mind baffled by how throughout this entire campaign, not once did we actually struggle with aggressive expansion. It really just goes to show that our geographical position is such a massive advantage for us. We have so many different religions and so many different cultures. Look at this map mode, that nobody is going to actually give much of a schnitzel about us attacking anybody else, because they're all just hating each other for being of different religion and culture. Now, the problem is that we do have a lot of overextension, and I cannot concentrate enough. Problem is that I have to make a choice now. Do I peace out Lithuania and take a much smaller amount of land than I want to take, because I cannot peace out until the French are also out? Or do I just say screw it and core everything for myself, don't give anything to my subject, and instead just fight through the 100 overextension? I mean, I guess that could also work, right? I'm actually going to recruit some more units, since I want to have another army just so I can fight rebels with this particular army. And would you look at that, we can now do recruit the Streltsy. This will increase the land maintenance of our Streltsy, but it also is going to lower the shock damage received. I'm actually not going to go for it though, because every time time our leader dies, they're going to ask for money. It's actually a big amount of money, and the 5% shock is not really that big of a deal in my opinion. We can also easily do the Vodka Monopoly by increasing the development in some of our grain provinces. We kind of needed a little bit of a dev session anyway, so we might as well do it now. Magdeburg's going to be the very first Orthodox nation in the Holy Roman Empire. First of many, hopefully, though. Right now, the Holy Roman Empire is split between Protestants and Catholics, but with a few cheeky wars in this area, we should be able to spread our religion as well. Okay, our units are doing some damage to the Parisians. We will need to get more provinces under our control if we want to have just a white peace even. They are right now pushing hard into Austria, which is kind of okay. I'm actually going to try and weaken their armies at least, maybe wipe out some of their units, or if not, lower their manpower reserves. Remember, for us, manpower is not an issue. We're close to max at all points because we just have so many freaking units right now. Okay, let's see if they're willing to give us the white peace now. They are more than willing actually now. You know what? I'm going to take some money from them too, just so I can make up for the lost units. We lost so many brave souls that we totally care about. So let's go back now, because we can obviously enforce on the Litvanians. I'm going to grab the most western parts of their country so that I prevent the Poles from attacking them. I got the suspicion that Poland might be interested in these Okay, apparently they genuinely don't have any interest in that, but they do have an interest in my land. What kind of an ally is this, huh? Poland? Explain yourself. Actually, probably should wait until I finish coring everything else though, because we might be way overextended then. And it seems like Ming is falling apart, much like I was expecting them to. Yue and Wu and Shun have appeared, and we have now the Oprichnaya forces, a tier 2 government reform, which gives years of separatism, reduction, increases the Oprichnaya progress, it only costs 1 stability, and seizing crownlands does not cause revolts. This would of course replace the separate the boyars from the court, but I like to modernize, so I'm going to go for this particular option. If we want to, we can always go back to the boyars from court separation. We have it as available whenever we need it to. Rebel suppression efficiency is also increased by 100%, which is really efficient. Means that we just don't need to stress about rebels if we have an army assigned to suppressing autonomously rebels afterwards. Speaking of, we can also lower our rebels by 30 and autonomy by 10 now. And one more thing I didn't mention because of our mechanics is that we can now actually steal modern ideas from other nations. We just need to have a spy network in there. Thought I was playing as Russia, not Romania. I'm just gonna say it. The Kozhaj Mausoleum is insanely powerful, guys. On the first upgrade, we get religious unity plus 25. The first upgrade! That is crazy! We fixed all of our religious unity issues with just 1,000 ducats, and it's global, no religion stuck, no culture, nothing. Anyone can just upgrade this. This is an absolute must to have this particular monument. Okay, boys, it's time to use our amazing Russian ability to steal from the French. So we're getting 5 modernization from taking ideas from France. I'm just curious what kind of ideas we took though. New fashion trend? Was it how to wear your slippers? Probably didn't have slippers back in 1500s, did they now? Alright boys, we are close to finishing the colonization of the Siberian areas, which means we're close to getting pushed into Siberia. That's gonna allow us to recruit explorers, conquistadors, and it's gonna give us 2 extra settlers, plus increase the chance of discovering gold. So that's gonna be amazing for when we start colonizing the New World. We got claims on this area too, so we're gonna be attacking and conquering Chavachijabajuji. That's how you pronounce that in case you're wondering. I do also believe a certain Finnish land belonged rightfully so to us. We're gonna be taking that back. We're gonna be absolutely taking that back. Finland is rightful clay because I saw it first, even though it belonged to somebody else. Okay, just don't ask questions. We also managed to get 50 modernization, so that means we now have 75 government reform progress and a university, second one in our country, plus we get institution spread and development cost reduction in provinces. We're actually really close to getting imperial ambitions done. That's going to change our tech group to Western, by the way, so we would have the best late game units, as good as the Western Europeans have. Honestly, the thing that's preventing us right now from achieving that is just the loyalty of the patriarch, so we might need to do an estates mission for the patriarchs to get this mission done. The irony is absolutely huge here. We're making the Teutonic Order Orthodox. The literal reason for these guys to exist is to convert nations to Catholic, right? And they're now Orthodox. Okay, boys, Sweden don't have independence, but Finland does. I mean, look how independent Finland is. And yes, we will be culture converting everybody to Russian. It's too small of a culture group to keep them Finnish. I'm sorry, okay? It's just the way the world works, okay? Come on. Looks like England is also at war with the Danes for the conquest of Aberdeen. Right, because Denmark took the northern parts of Scotland, apparently. Also, speaking of, I can get an alliance with the English and with the Spanish if I wanted to. So we might get an ally with the Spaniards, actually, since I don't mind that. The world is balanced once more. Western Europe allied with Eastern Europe against the vile Central European scumbags. Am I right? Come on. Oh, actually, I made a mistake. I should have kept Poland because I could have used them against the Ottomans. That's okay. We'll be fine against the Ottomans. They have only 100,000 units. We got 200,000, okay? The fort in Kargadargadu is also not necessary since we lowered the devastation in the adjacent provinces to it. This run obviously wouldn't have gone anywhere without a little bit of friendly banter here with the Ottomans. Reality is though, guys, the Ottomans are already at military tech 11 and they do have extremely good units. I'm honestly a little bit scared. I've kind of been avoiding their units. I've kind of lost a lot of the battles. As you can see here, most of the battles were lost when fighting against the Ottomans. So I'm just doing the classic, hit them with the amount of manpower they cannot really do much against. That's why we drain their manpower pool down to 15 and we're just carpet sieging their country completely so we destroy their economy. Another reason why I attacked the Ottomans is because right now the Spaniards, my ally, are the defender of the Catholic faith, and also my other ally, Austria, is allied to Poland. But I want to attack Poland because I actually want to take a lot of lands from Poland. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go for the Cleansing of Heresy CB because we have fully unlocked our religious idea so we can attack these heretics for less aggressive expansion. And because Austria and Spain are already in my war with the Ottomans, they cannot join on the side of the Poles, which means I'm going to stay in this war until I finish the Polish war. I kind of have to. If I finish my Ottoman war before I finish the Polish war, the Austrians and the Spaniards will join on the side of the Poles unless 30 months have passed. Also, we can now do finally a push into East Siberia, and that means we have for 100 years the ability to recruit explorers, conquistadors, and we get 2 colonists so we can start exploring the new world. Plus, we get increased chance of discovering gold whenever we colonize provinces. And we also have the Russian Patriarchate until the end of the game, cost of reducing or exhaustion reduced. Plus, we also have a bit of extra admin points, authority, and 25 relations with all Orthodox nations. And we also managed to finally appease the Patriarchate, meaning until the end of the game we get an extra max privilege for the Patriarchy and legitimacy and loyalty equilibrium. Westernization of the court is also easy to get now. So the thing with this is we get for 25 years different bonuses based on whatever advisor we have. Missionary is not bad. We actually could really make use of an extra missionary. So the war against Poland is a purge of Polish heresy, fittingly enough. That means that we need to win battles against the enemy units here in order to start getting the taking war score. The Ottomans have been grinded down. They're down to 20,000 and 50,000 standing armies, so we basically got this in the bag already. So make sure we pay off the debts of our subjects so they stay loyal. Also, until our explorer discovers the new world, we're gonna use our colonists to promote settlement growth in the provinces where we have gold, which means we're gonna basically get free gold out of these areas. And speaking of the areas that do have gold, I'm not gonna make trade companies out of them. I'm gonna make them full states just so I can because remember, more autonomy means less gold. Oh boys, we're getting 6 innovativeness now from researching this technology ahead of time. That literally means we can actually catch up with our innovativeness and maybe even get this up to 100 if we play our cards right. Plus, we now have musketeers, so we're gonna be just steamrolling over everybody. This is now pretty much historical right here. The island of Sakhalin, or Karafuto, whatever you want to call it, was definitely divided between the Russians and the Japanese for quite some time until the Russians eventually managed to get all of it, right? But Japan did unify in our game, and we will have to take over the island of Sakhalin to continue our mission, so we will eventually have to declare on them. It pains me to do this to Brandenburg, but unfortunately they chose the wrong side. Ottomans are going to be sitting like this occupied by me until I finish the war with Poland, so the Ottoman economy is going to be non-existent in a few moments. They already have 0 units and basically little to no manpower. By the way, do you guys know why this province is called Bratislav? It's actually a funny story. So there was this little brat that was a Slav. That was a bad one. That was actually a bad one. I might actually just edit that. Okay, boys, a great day for all of us. We have gotten all 3 of our initial idea sets filled. That also means we can get the next 2 policies that give good produced, missionary strength, and again, goods produced. So we got an extra 25 goods produced, which means we end up with 32.2%. Well, actually, it's 35% goods produced once we lower our current war exhaustion. Now we're going to be using the extra merchant to make sure the node in Astrakhan gets the addition of the node from Samarkand. So we're getting 9 ducats from Samarkand, which translates to 13 ducats moving its way towards Kazan and eventually ending up in Novgorod. And also it looks like we can already enforce our demands on the Poles. Nobody gives a single schnitzel about us doing that. And we do have a little bit of overextension, but I'm confident we can concentrate here, right? Yeah, we can. Now, before we concentrate Moldova too, let's actually enforce our demands on the Ottomans. And what we're taking from the Ottomans is this monstrosity of a peace deal. Reason we're doing this is because we're warmongers, first off. Second off, nobody cares aggressive expansion wise. And third off, we can actually release Byzantium afterwards. And we also have a connection to Herzegovina, so of course they will be more than happy to now become our diplo vassal. Plus, we can do the Black Sea axis now, giving us claims on the entirety of the Caucasus region. We have ended up with 200 overextension now, so yeah, I feel like maybe we should have, you know, not taken as much stuff, but it's fine. You know what? It's all okay. We'll be just fine, boys. Trust. We're going to be releasing Georgia, which is going to be the province of Abkhazia. So then they're going to have all the cores we can feed them afterwards. Reality is I'm kind of doing this because I want to have some buffer states aside from my actually directly owned lands, and also want to restore the Byzantine Empire. So we're going to be feeding them back all the cores and then some in the next war against the Ottomans. But that still leaves us overextended, so we're gonna have to take a chill pill and murder some rebels for the next foreseeable future, I guess. Now Mr. Vitus Bering can finally actually do his exploration of the Pacific. Although I just realized, Bering, is that the guy that explored the Bering Strait? Oh my god! Ooh, this is interesting. We can embark on a journey around Europe for Ivan IV. It will cost us some money, or we can get 50 admin. We kind of need the admin now, but I'm just curious to see what exactly his travels to Austria will entail. Generous offer to stay in Austria. We can study their army, or we can return home. Let's study the army. We paid 600. I want to see what I'm getting for my 600 ducats here. Oh, we get increase in artillery cost, but recruitment time -5. I should have gone for the freaking admin. What the hell is this, man? In order for me to proclaim the emperor title and become Imperial Russia, we also need to humiliate one of our rivals. So I'm going to be declaring war on the French with the humiliation casus belli, actually. Let's go with that. We got the Spanish on our side, so we can very, very easily and quickly win this war. Ah, yes, the casual and random -1 stability, because frack me, that's why. Oh, looks like Austria also grabbed an even bigger chunk of Bohemia. I'm curious how much aggressive expansion that gave them. He got more aggressive expansion from grabbing like 2 provinces in the HRE than I got from grabbing literally half of the planet. Just a casual HRE moment right there, guys. Now, another casual HRE moment is me forcing my religion on Luxembourg, making them a brave and honest Orthodox nation. Same thing for Lorraine, converting away from those Protestant roots that they may have had before. Curious how close I am now to increasing my religious rank. Let's see. We're level 3 because we have 13 Orthodox nations, 20 nations to become. Okay, so we just need 7 more to become Orthodox. And there you have it, ladies and gents, the coastline of Alaska. So it's time to get our colonists back. They haven't really done much, only 1 production in this particular gold mine at least. Colonize it for me, my pretties. This is the most historically accurate Russia run you've probably seen, isn't it? Be honest, I know it is. Also gonna build a couple of flutes just so I can actually send some units to murder the natives in the New World too. I know this actually makes no difference, but I love canceling canceling these cores. Dude, look how many cores we're canceling from the Oirats. Oh, this is just so juicy for me right now. I am absolutely in love. That's right, guys. I've been struggling with this for a while, but it's true. The rumors are true. I am a core fetishist. All right, let's see if the French are willing to give up now. They are. We're going to do the Show of Strength, which gives us 100 of each mana points as well. Might as well, alongside humiliating our rival. And that means we can now proclaim the Emperor title. Clicius Maximus, all hail the Russian Empire. This is one of the most powerful government reforms. It allows the Russian abilities, but also manpower plus 20%, institution embracement cost minus 50%, governing capacity 350, and so on. It is just actually insane. We went up to 1,450 governing capacity, and we have the 3 new interactions: enforce absolute rule, which lowers autonomy by 15%, not 5 or 10. Cultural revolution gives idea cost and national tax modifier plus 20%, and mobilize new order regiments gives infantry compatibility, reinforcement speed, lowers war exhaustion by 3, and a ton of manpower. So this is an absolute improvement over the previous government reforms. Plus, the previous modernization mechanics gave us 50% reduction in institutional embracement costs. That's included in the new Russian Empire Tier 1 government reform. So we have not lost anything that the previous things were giving. We just get more of them now, which is insane. Now, I do want to get some more loyalty with the burghers, which is going to give me the development cost reduction. And I'm going to use this dev cost reduction before I seize Crownlands to get the Vodka Monopoly established. I just need 5 more provinces, increase the production dev to 6. So I'll just see whichever one of the grain provinces I have are closest to 6, and then set up the encourage development and just dev these provinces up quickly. There's actually a lot of really cheap provinces to develop in the southern parts around the Ukrainian bits, basically. 24 to develop this after it's already been improved 5 times is just insane. Now we're looking pretty since we integrated Kazakh. I love these borders. Look how amazing this is, man. Imagine that now we're technically playing toll, okay? So we're gonna see how much of an economy we can get out of just these particular areas. We might take a little bit more from Timurids, of course, and maybe a little bit in the Caucasus. Of course, we have to annex Poland and the Balkans, but that's obviously just clearly Russian clay. We're doing this, and let's see where the oh, come on, printing press fund and mines. That is not great because I don't have good relations with mines. Oh, actually, it's Nassau. Oh, Nassau loves me. They would actually like to ally me. Oh, I need to finish this work quick so I can ally Nassau, and maybe they can give me the printing press. Also, another 6 innovativeness, and we got the good cannons now. So that means that we're gonna be kicking some ass with these cannons. It means we also need to get more cannons for our back row now. I love the AI logic, guys. So we're fully annexing Lithuania, right? We're also canceling some cores. I can go up to 98 war score. If I want to go to 100 and cancel another core, I'm not able to. I still have to siege down Magdeburg. What the hell is this logic? You can murder us completely and annex us, but we cannot revoke the core in Clementines. What? Like, actually, what? Bro. And after a quick deving session, we also got the vodka sales decision. Now, in order to do the absolute autocracy, we need to have 3 stability, 7 subjects, lower influence for patriarchs and boyars than 50, and having seized land at least 10 times. So we're close to it. We just need how many more? 3 more subjects, which we can honestly just release if anything. We can do 1 stability. That's easy. The lowering of influence, we will have to cancel some privileges for the boyars and the patriarchs, though. The clerical education and the religious diplomats or clerical advisory count, I guess I have to cancel all 3 of them, actually. Well, as for this, I'm gonna first off cancel the boyar integration policy because I'm not gonna be integrating any of my subjects anytime soon. And it does pain me to do this, but boyars and officer corps will also have to go for now, at least. That way we have the boyars in check. We just need to cancel a little bit more for patriarchs now. Also, seeing as we are at peace, I'm gonna be attacking the Swedes next so I can grab all of Scandinavia, which everybody knows is just common knowledge that it's rightful Russian clay, let's face it. Totally not a warmonger, guys. I'm totally not. Actually, I do need to call in the British and the Spaniards because I will need their fleets to actually get into the Danish provinces in the capital here. I do not have an actual proper fleet right now. Speaking of, I probably should get my flagship done, though, because we need to have a trade flagship, as I like to call it. Light ship, trade power per ship and fleet, movement speed, and privateer efficiency. Why not? Also give it a proper Russian name. Jonikuloy Sinovsky is common flagship name in Russia, in case you didn't know. Also, I have to say it, I'm actually surprised that the Danes still maintained their union over the Swedes and the Norwegians. Normally, they lose that in almost all of my games, but when I need them to lose the unions, they freaking don't, bro. Okay, we did manage to get 98% war score despite not having their capital though, so we should still be able to enforce our demands here. I would love to go for 100%, but I'm not gonna sit in this war for any time longer. Screw it, man. This is enough for me. I don't want to be greedy. I'm just taking a little bit of their lands, not too much, you know what I mean? That means we now can do the conquest of Finland. We can release the Finns as an independent state. Not sure why I do that. Or just get 75 admin. I'm obviously gonna go for the admin, okay? I don't care that I cannot recruit the Haka Piki Pika Wiki cavalry. We don't have him as a subject, so instead we get Carolean infantry, the unique units only available to the Swedes and apparently us as well now. Cool part though, we got the Dalaskogan copper mine, which gives artillery cost minus 20% and +9 local goods produced for copper, which pretty much ensures that we're going to be leading producer of copper by upgrading this mine. Now, I'll tell you guys a little funny story. The reason I actually decided to play as Russia is a little bit weird, to say the least. I've been getting a lot of freaking shorts about this. I don't even know what it is, honestly. Some TV show about Catherine the Great and Peter. It's like a funny little show from what I can tell, where they're bickering and stuff. I'm not sure where that show is or anything about it. I have no idea. I've not seen the show, but I keep getting those shorts recommended every single freaking day. It is insane. So yeah, that kind of just inspired me to do this particular run, to be honest. Also, it would seem like my beloved little Nassau ally is literally killing off everybody in Central HRE, becoming the big dog here. This is by far the most successful love story of the HRE. They developed their capital 11 times. What a bunch of warmongering, playing white people in Nassau. Am I right, guys? Not like us. Now, one more thing I want to do is I want to get some forts done in the eastern parts of my empire, because I don't really have any defenses around there. Everybody's just roaming around wherever they want. So I'm going to get these done in highlands, mountains, or more rough terrain, and especially areas that cover a lot of adjacent provinces. So like Onangol covers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 adjacent provinces. Having a fort here means we would be protecting majority of these areas. Despite this actually being a pretty bad province, it's a step though. Maybe we can change it to Kita. Okay, now I do have some questions here, because Siena apparently is actually Naples and it's in the south. Siena itself was conquered by the Venetians. What happened here? What actually happened here, guys? I'm gonna be diplomatically vassalizing them because we have all the missions done now, all the prerequisites done for this mission. We just need a few more subjects, so I'm gonna just diplo-vassalize whoever I can. Another day, another war against Poland. Unfortunately for them, we're gonna take a lot more this time. It's Jover, Poland. It's Jover. We're already at war with the Portuguese though, because they attacked our Spaniard allies. Dude, I just saw this. Nassau sprites are the most coolest freaking sprites ever. That is so freaking awesome. Look at the way, and the Wallachian ones are very Wallachian. I know what he's saying, Ludi, that's just pajamas. I swear it's not pajamas, okay? We do not wear pajamas to war anymore. Huh? Pussy ass Austrians giving up after you just take their capitals. What a bunch of Scooby-Doobs. Now from here we do have to get 8 provinces to do the next mission. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we got enough then. We got more than enough actually. 100 aggressive expansion. So clearly nobody gives a shit because it's Polish lands. And Daria go Mujasku-di-do-di-do. That's Polish language for we won the war. Just don't Google it, okay? There you go. Now we have an awesome little skibidi here of a mission. It's going to give us 5 extra max promoted culture slot, and it's going to accept basically all of the Western Europeans, as well as for 20 years we get core creation cost minus 10% and a permanent claim on Carpathia. And once we get another 5 provinces in Carpathia when the truce is over with the Austrians, we're going to get another 3 accepted cultures: Romanian, Transylvanian, and Hungarian, and manpower in true faith provinces plus 10, as well well as permanent claim on every Slavic province in the Balkan region. Then after that, we can do protect the Slavs, which will make the Slavic culture group. So we basically add every single one of these cultures, all the Eastern Slavics, Western Slavics, South Slavics, into one major Slavic culture group, which eventually will help us get to the Third Rome, allowing us to relocate our capital to Constantinople and reclaim our Roman legacy, clearly. I have to say, I really am just in love with the mission tree the Russians have. It's by far one of my favorite ones. I do hope you guys enjoyed the second part of the Russian campaign. Don't forget to leave that like so we get the third and final part where we go all the way to 1821 live on Twitch if you want to check it out. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.